There comes a time in life when pointing fingers will no longer work. There comes a moment when excuses lose their strength. Blaming others becomes nothing but a heavy chain around your own neck. I stand before you today with a declaration. I blame no one, but I look in the mirror. The mirror does not lie. The mirror shows me the truth. It shows me my scars, my struggles, my victories, and my failures. And when I dare to look into it, confronted not with what people did to me, but with what I allowed, with what I settled for, with what I neglected, too often we are tempted to say, if they hadn't hurt me, I would be further along. If they had supported me, I would have succeeded. If life had been fair, I would be thriving. But blaming them doesn't change the fact that you are still standing where you are. And here's the reality. Healing does not begin until responsibility is embraced. When I look in the mirror, I see someone who has fallen. But I also see someone who has gotten back up. I see someone who made mistakes. But I also see someone who learned from them. I see someone who was overlooked. But I also see someone who refused to stay hidden. You cannot conquer what you refuse to confront. You cannot rise above what you are unwilling to face. And the hardest battle you will ever fight is not with your enemies, it is with yourself. It is the battle against your doubt, your fear, your procrastination, your excuses. That's why the mirror matters. Because until you win in the mirror, you cannot win in the world. So today, I stand bold enough to say I blame no one. I don't blame my past. I don't blame my circumstances. Blame the people who walked away. I look in the mirror and I say, it starts with me. It ends with me. And by God's grace, rises through me. Stop waiting for apologies that may never come. Stop waiting for validation that may never be given. Stop waiting for permission that no one is going to hand you. You owe it to yourself to rise. Not because the world owes you anything, because you refuse to waste the life you've been given. When you look in the mirror, don't just see what you've been through, see what you're becoming. Don't just see the tears, see the triumph. Don't just see the pain, see the power. Because every scar you carry is proof that you survived. And every time you look in the mirror, you are looking at the evidence that you still have time to write a new story. So today, lift your head, square your shoulders, wipe your tears, and tell yourself, I am not finished. I am not broken beyond repair. I am not a victim. I blame no one. I look in the mirror and I choose to rise. There comes a defining moment in every person's life when you realize that no one is coming to save you. No superhero is going to swoop in and change your story. No enemy is going to hand back the time they stole. No friend, no mentor, no parent can live your life for you. That moment is when you discover the power and weight of personal responsibility. Taking responsibility is not about shame. It is not about guilt. It is about ownership. It is about declaring, this is my life. These are my choices. This is my path. And if change is going to come, it's going to start with me. For too long, many of us have lived trapped in the prison of blame. We point our fingers at the people who left us, at the system that didn't support us, at the family that misunderstood us, at the boss who overlooked us. And though there may be truth in those stories, they do not hold the power to change where we are going. You cannot rise while your eyes are fixed on who wronged you. You cannot evolve while your heart is chained to resentment. I may not have chosen what happened to me, but I choose how I respond. I may not control the storms that come against me, but I control how I navigate through them. I may not be able to rewrite my yesterday. I hold the pen that writes my tomorrow. There is a freedom that comes when you stop excusing yourself and start owning yourself. Because excuses are heavy. They weigh down your potential. They whisper to you that you can't because life is unfair, because you weren't born into privilege, or because the odds are stacked too high. But responsibility silences those excuses and declares, I may not have what they have, but I will use what I do have. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I am moving forward with what's in my hands. When you embrace personal responsibility, you stop waiting. You stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth. You stop waiting for someone to open a door. You stop waiting for the perfect timing, perfect connections, the perfect conditions. You realize that waiting has stolen too many years already. Responsibility pushes you into action, to discipline, into consistency, into courage. But responsibility is not easy. It is not glamorous. It requires honesty, the kind of honesty that stings when you admit that you could have tried harder, that you wasted time, that you let fear win. You gave in to distraction. Responsibility strips away the comfort of excuses and forces you to face yourself. Yet it is in that very moment that growth begins. Because when you accept responsibility, you take back your power. Do you realize how powerful you become when you stop blaming? The moment you say, "It's on me," is the moment you are no longer a victim. You become the architect of your destiny. The moment you say, "It's my responsibility," is the moment you shift from being powerless to powerful. Because now you are not waiting for the world to change, you are changing within yourself. And that change ripples outward into everything you touch. Personal responsibility does not mean perfection. It does not mean you will never stumble. It does not mean you will never fail. What it means is that even when you fall, you own it. You rise from it. You learn from it. You refuse to let failure define you. You say, "Yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I took wrong turns, but I am not stuck there. I am responsible for moving forward." Too many people are waiting for someone to rescue them from themselves. What if the rescue has always been in the mirror? What if the hero you are waiting for is you? What if the strength you crave is already inside you, just waiting for responsibility to unlock it? Life will not always be fair. People will not always treat you right. Opportunities will not always come when you expect them. But if you carry personal responsibility, you will keep going, keep building, keep striving, keep becoming. And with every step, you will prove that your destiny is not in the hands of others. It is in your own. Personal responsibility is the bridge between where you are and where you dream to be. Without it, your dreams remain fantasies. With it, your dreams become blueprints and your blueprints become reality. Responsibility is the fuel that turns potential into performance, vision into victory, power. So today, make the decision. Stop rehearsing your excuses. Stop nursing your wounds. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stand tall and declare, "I am responsible for my life. I am responsible for my growth. I am responsible for my future." And when you do, you will find a strength rising in you that no setback can crush, no disappointment can drown, and no obstacle can defeat. Because the moment you embrace responsibility, you step fully into the authority of your own life. This is the hour to rise. This is the moment to own it. This is the season to say, "I will not blame. I will not excuse. I will not wait. I am responsible, and because I am responsible, I will overcome." The most honest conversation you will ever have in your life is not with your friends, not with your family, not even with your critics. The most honest conversation you will ever have is with yourself, standing in front of the mirror. That moment when it's just you and your reflection. No filters, no disguises, no applause, no excuses. That's the mirror test. The mirror test is not about vanity. It's not about how good you look, what you wear, or how polished your image may be. The mirror test goes far deeper than the surface. It asks, who are you really? Are you proud of the choices you've made? Are you living up to the potential you know is inside you? Are you being authentic, or are you hiding behind masks? When you stand before the mirror, there's no hiding. The mirror doesn't lie. It reflects not only your face, but your truth. It shows you the courage you've summoned and the battles you've avoided. It shows you the weight of regrets you've carried and the glimmer of hope that refuses to die. The mirror test forces you to answer the question, can you face yourself honestly? Many people spend their lives avoiding the mirror test. They live busy, noisy lives, surrounding themselves with distractions so they don't have to be alone with their reflection. Because the truth is heavy. The truth demands change. The truth doesn't bend to excuses. The mirror will not comfort you with lies. It will challenge you with reality. And that reality is this: if you want your life to change, it must start with the person staring back at you. The mirror test is not about perfection. It's about accountability. It's about courage. It's about being willing to say, yes, I made mistakes, but I will not live chained to them. Yes, I've been broken. I am still standing. Yes, I've been afraid. I refuse to let fear dictate the rest of my story. Passing the mirror test is not about having all the answers. It's about being bold enough to ask yourself the hard questions and strong enough to confront the truth. Care enough. When you fail the mirror test, it's not because you look in the mirror and see flaws. It's because you look in the mirror and deny them. Growth does not come from pretending. Healing does not come from hiding. Power does not come from deception. Power comes when you look into your own eyes and admit where you've been wrong, where you've been lazy, where you've been fearful, and then decide, this stops today. The mirror test is also about integrity. Who you are when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, no one is affirming. That's the person in the mirror. And until that person is someone you can respect, no amount of success, no amount of recognition, no amount of applause will ever satisfy you. Some people chase titles, money, or validation because they want to escape the reflection they see in the mirror. All the wealth in the world cannot cover the emptiness of a soul that has failed the mirror test. True peace, true confidence, true fulfillment comes not from what others think of you, but from being able to look in the mirror and say, I am not perfect, but I am real. I am not flawless. I am honest. I may stumble, but I will rise again. The mirror test is a daily challenge. Every morning when you look at yourself, you are given a choice. Will I live today true to my values, or will I betray myself? Will I take steps toward my destiny, or will I drift further into excuses? Will I choose discipline, or will I surrender to comfort? The mirror asks you those questions every single day, and how you answer will determine the course of your life. Mirror also reveals resilience. Look closer, you will see the scars that tell the story of battles you've fought and survived. You will see eyes that have cried tears but still sparkle with hope. You will see a body that has carried burdens but is still standing strong. The mirror test reminds you not only of your struggles but also of your strength. You are proof that storms come, but storms pass. You are proof that wounds hurt, wounds heal. You are proof that even in brokenness, beauty can rise. Some of you have been running from the mirror because you don't like what you see. Let me tell you this, the mirror is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is not there to condemn you. It is there to correct you. It is not there to shame you. It is there to shape you. Every time you dare to look, you give yourself a chance to grow, to adjust, to realign, to rise. And here is the greatest truth about the mirror test. It doesn't just reflect who you are. It reflects who you can become. If you look deeply enough, you will see the vision of the person you were created to be. You will see the warrior within you, the dreamer within you, the leader within you. The mirror shows you not just your past, but your possibility. So the next time you stand in front of the mirror, don't just fix your hair or adjust your clothes, fix your heart, adjust your mindset, align your soul. Ask yourself, am I proud of the person I see? If not, what am I willing to do today to change it? That's the power of the mirror test. At the end of the day, you can fool the world, but you cannot fool the mirror. You can deceive others, but you cannot deceive yourself. And the day you can look into your own eyes and say, I am living true, I am living strong, I am living with purpose, that is the day you have passed the mirror test. So face yourself, stop running, stop excusing, stop hiding. Look boldly into your reflection and declare, I see my flaws, but I also see my fight. I see my scars, but I also see my strength. I see where I've been. More importantly, I see where I'm going. I have faced the mirror, and I choose to rise. The greatest wars you will ever fight are not fought on battlefields. They are not fought with armies, guns, or weapons. They are fought in silence, inside the mind, inside the heart, inside the very core of your soul. These are the inner battles, the ones no one else can see, the ones you carry when the world thinks you are fine. You can smile on the outside while fighting a storm on the inside. You can laugh with others while your heart wrestles with doubt, fear, or regret. The world may applaud you for your achievements. When you lay your head down at night, you alone know the wars you're fighting in the unseen places of your soul. That is the reality of inner battles. They are private, invisible, and relentless. Inner battles are often more difficult than any challenge outside of us. Because when you fight an external enemy, you can see it, you can identify it, you can strategize against it. But when the enemy is within, when the fight is against your own procrastination, your own excuses, your own self-doubt, that war is far harder to win. The enemy within knows your weaknesses. It knows your fears. It knows where to hit you hardest. So many people lose not because life is too hard, because they've been defeated within before they even step into the fight outside. You cannot conquer the world if you've already surrendered in your mind. You cannot rise in life if you've already given up in your spirit. The inner battle is where destiny is won or lost. The inner battle is the fight against fear. Fear whispers, you can't, you're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. And if you listen to fear, it paralyzes you. It convinces you to shrink, to settle, to hide. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to fight fear from the inside out. Courage is standing up to the voice in your head that says, you're too small, too broken, too late. And responding, I may be afraid, I will not bow to fear. The inner battle is the fight against doubt. Doubt questions everything, your vision, your worth, your ability. Doubt says, who do you think you are? And if you allow it, doubt will talk you out of dreams that were meant to transform your life. Faith rises in the face of doubt. Faith doesn't need the full picture. It simply takes the next step, believing there is more beyond the horizon. Winning the inner battle means silencing doubt with faith strong enough to say, I don't have to see it all. I just need to move forward. The inner battle is the fight against discouragement. Life will not always reward you quickly. You may give your best and still see no results. You may pray, plan, work, and still feel stuck. That's when discouragement creeps in. It tells you it's pointless, that your effort is wasted, that you should just give up. But resilience rises up and says, I didn't come this far to quit. I didn't endure storms just to walk away now. My effort is not wasted. Every step, every seed, every sacrifice is building something in me that the world will one day see. The inner battle is the fight against the past. Your history tries to whisper louder than your destiny. It tells you that because you failed before, you'll fail again. It tells you that because you were rejected then, you'll be rejected again. But you must remind yourself, my past is a chapter, not the whole story. My scars are proof that I survived, not signs that I am finished. Winning the inner battle means refusing to let yesterday dictate your tomorrow. And let us not forget, the inner battle is the fight against yourself, against your laziness when you know discipline is required, against your excuses when you know effort is the only way forward, against your pride when humility is the only way to grow, against your comfort zone when you know your future requires you to stretch. These inner battles are the most difficult because they demand that you master yourself. But here is the good news. Every time you win inside, it shows outside. Every time you defeat fear, you step into boldness. Every time you silence doubt, you move with clarity. Every time you endure discouragement, you grow stronger. Every time you rise above your past, you step into freedom. And every time you master yourself, you become unstoppable. The world sees your actions. Those actions are born out of your victories or defeats within. Success is not first achieved in public, it is won in private. It is the product of silent wars fought when no one is clapping, when no one is cheering, when no one even knows the struggle you're facing. Your ability to conquer the outer challenges of life will always depend on your willingness to win the inner battles of the soul. Some of you are tired not because of what's happening around you, but because of what's happening within you. You're drained because you're carrying wars in your mind that you've never confronted. It's time to face them. It's time to stand up to fear, to silence doubt, to refuse discouragement, to break free from the past, and to discipline yourself into becoming the person you were created to be. You may not win every inner battle in a single day, but every day you fight, you grow stronger. Every day you resist the lies, you build resilience. Every day you choose discipline over excuses, you build character. Every day you rise, even in small ways, you prove that your inner strength is greater than your inner struggles. So, fight. Fight with everything inside you. Fight when fear whispers. Fight when doubt shouts. Fight when discouragement drags at your feet. Fight when your past tries to chain you down. Fight against yourself when comfort tries to rob your destiny. Because if you can win the battle within, there is nothing outside of you that can defeat you. The inner battles may be invisible, but their impact is undeniable. The strength you carry, the confidence you show, peace you walk with, all of it is the evidence of wars fought and won inside. And if you are still breathing, still standing, still hoping, you already know you've won more inner battles than you give yourself credit for. So rise, continue to fight. Do not surrender to the war within. Because the day you master your inner battles, you will realize that nothing outside of you has the power to keep you down. One of the heaviest weights a person can carry is the weight of blame. Blame is a chain that binds the soul. It ties you to the people who hurt you, the moments that broke you, and the disappointments that robbed you. And until you learn to let go of blame, you will never truly walk in freedom. Blame feels comforting at first because it gives us a target, it gives us a reason, an excuse, a justification for why we are where we are. If they hadn't left me, I'd be further along. If they hadn't betrayed me, I'd be more successful. If life had been fair, I'd be thriving. We cling to blame because it relieves us of responsibility. It allows us to point our finger outward and say, it's not me, it's them. It's not my fault, it's my past. It's not my weakness, it's what was done to me. Blame may feel like protection. It is actually a prison. While you blame, you stay stuck. While you blame, you remain chained to people who may never apologize. While you blame, you give your power away to events that cannot be changed. Blame does not heal. Blame does not build. Blame does not free. It keeps you bound to what hurts you most. Letting go of blame is not about denying what happened. It is not about excusing the wrong. It is not about saying the pain wasn't real. No, your pain was real. Your struggle was real. What you went through mattered. What matters even more is your future. And as long as you hold on to blame, you cannot step into it. There is something liberating about saying, I release it. I let it go. I will no longer hold people hostage in my heart. I will no longer replay the mistakes in my mind. I will no longer let my past dictate my present or rob my future. Because the truth is, holding on to blame doesn't punish them. It punishes you. It poisons your peace. It clouds your vision. It weakens your strength. It traps you in yesterday when you are supposed to be moving toward tomorrow. Many of us blame because we are waiting for someone to make it right. We're waiting for an apology that may never come. We're waiting for someone to acknowledge the pain they caused. We're waiting for someone to fix what they broke. But here's the reality. Some people will never say sorry. Some people will never admit what they did. Some people have already moved on while you're still bleeding from the wound they caused. That is why you cannot wait for them to release you. You must release yourself. Letting go of blame is taking back your power. It is standing tall and saying, yes, they hurt me, but I will not live wounded. Yes, they betrayed me, but I will not live bitter. Yes, they abandoned me, but I will not live abandoned. Choose to move forward. I choose to rise. I choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Forgiveness is not weakness. Letting go of blame is not surrender. It is strength. It is courage. It is the decision to no longer allow your enemies, your past, your pain to dictate the rest of your story. When you let go of blame, you open your hands to receive healing, to receive joy, to receive new beginnings. Blame blinds you. It makes you believe your future depends on what others did or didn't do. But when you let go, your vision clears. You begin to see that no betrayal, no rejection, no injustice is powerful enough to cancel your purpose. You begin to see that your destiny is not in the hands of those who hurt you, it's in your own. And sometimes the hardest person to stop blaming is yourself. Carry guilt for mistakes we made, opportunities we missed, and seasons we wasted. We look in the mirror and point the finger inward, saying, if only I had done better, I wouldn't be here. If only I had been stronger, I would have avoided this pain. But self-blame is just as destructive as blaming others, because until you forgive yourself, you will always sabotage your own progress. You cannot heal if you're holding yourself hostage to yesterday. You cannot grow if you're constantly punishing yourself for being human. Letting go of blame means extending grace to others and to yourself. It means recognizing that while you cannot change the past, you can shape the future. It means believing that mistakes do not define you, they refine you. Letting go of blame is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every day, your mind will try to drag you back into old stories. Every day, your emotions will try to rehearse the pain. But every day, you must choose release. You must wake up and declare, I am not a prisoner of what was. I am a steward of what can be. The more you release blame, the lighter you become. The lighter you become, the freer you live. And the freer you live, the further you go. Because nothing slows down destiny like the weight of bitterness. Nothing blocks growth like the poison of blame. And nothing steals joy faster than holding on to what cannot be undone. Letting go doesn't mean you forget. It doesn't mean you deny. It means you remember without reliving. It means you acknowledge without being anchored. It means you carry the lesson but not the wound. It means you look back and say, yes, it hurt, but it made me wiser. Yes, it broke me, but it made me stronger. Yes, it scarred me, but it also shaped me into someone who refuses to stay down. So today, choose release. Release the people who hurt you. Release the opportunities you missed. Release the apologies you never received. Release the guilt you've been carrying. Release the anger that has been eating you alive. Let go of blame, not for them, but for you. Because when you let go of blame, you take hold of freedom. When you let go of blame, you reclaim your peace. You let go of blame, you open the door to healing. And when you let go of blame, you finally step into the fullness of the life that has been waiting for you all along. So lift your head, wipe your tears, square your shoulders, and declare, I will not waste another day chained to blame. I release it. I rise above it. I move forward in strength, in peace, and in freedom. Let go of blame, and I take hold of my destiny. Change is something everyone talks about, but few people truly embrace. We say we want better, we dream of more, we imagine new beginnings, but when it comes to actually becoming someone different, most people hesitate. Why? Because transformation requires a mindset shift. It's not just about wishing for change, it's about thinking, living, and acting differently. Transformation begins not in your environment, not in your circumstances, but in your mind. A transformation mindset is not satisfied with surface adjustments. It's not about temporary fixes, shallow habits, or quick improvements. A transformation mindset digs deeper. It asks, who do I need to become to live the life I desire? What must I release? What must I embrace? What must I change about the way I think, speak, and move through life? The reason many people stay stuck is because they want transformation without the mindset. They want the reward without the renewal. They want the breakthrough without the breaking. But hear me, transformation is never cheap and it's never easy. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you excuses. It will cost you old patterns. And it will demand that you confront the very parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The transformation mindset begins with belief. If you cannot believe you can change, you will never change. If you cannot see yourself beyond where you are, you will stay where you are. The mind sets the boundaries of possibility. If your thoughts are chained, your life will be chained. If your thoughts are liberated, your life will expand. That is why the first battlefield of transformation is your thinking. With a transformation mindset, you stop saying, this is just who I am. No, this is who you've been, but it doesn't have to be who you will remain. A transformation mindset rejects the lie that your past defines your future. It rejects the limitation that your mistakes set your ceiling. It rejects the idea that your environment controls your destiny. Instead, it declares, I am capable of becoming more. I am capable of shifting my story, capable of being renewed from the inside out. Transformation is uncomfortable. It disrupts routines. It challenges excuses. It demands discipline. When you adopt a transformation mindset, you will lose things. You will lose relationships that cannot handle your growth. You will lose habits that sabotage your progress. You will lose comfort zones that kept you stagnant. Transformation requires sacrifice. Every sacrifice makes room for something greater. A transformation mindset sees failure differently. While others see failure as final, a transformed mind sees failure as feedback. It doesn't say, I failed, so I'm finished. It says, If I failed, so I learned. I failed, so I grew. Failed, so I know a better way forward. Transformation does not deny setbacks. It uses them as stepping stones. A transformation mindset also changes how you see pain. While others run from pain, transformation teaches you to grow through it. Pain is not just a wound. It is a teacher. It shapes character. It deepens wisdom. It builds resilience. The transformation mindset asks, what is this pain producing in me? How is it preparing me for what's next? Instead of letting pain break you, you let it make you. Transformation is not an event. It is a process. Too many people think it happens overnight. They expect instant results. They want to plant seeds today and reap harvest tomorrow. Transformation requires patience. It requires consistency. It requires you to keep showing up even when nothing seems to be changing. Because growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The tree grows roots before it grows branches. Likewise, your inner transformation must take root before the world sees the fruit. The transformation mindset also shifts your vision. It forces you to stop seeing life as it is and start seeing life as it could be. Vision is the fuel of transformation. If you cannot picture a better version of yourself, you will never move toward it. Transformation demands that you stretch your imagination, that you allow yourself to dream bigger, to expect more, to see beyond the limitations of today. One of the most powerful aspects of a transformation mindset is responsibility. You stop waiting for someone else to change your life. You stop blaming circumstances, people, the system. You stop saying, when things get better, then I'll grow. Instead, you declare, I will grow so that things can get better. You take ownership of your path. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for rescue. You become the driver of your destiny. And here's the truth. When your mindset changes, your life changes automatically. Because thoughts lead to choices. Choices lead to actions, and actions create outcomes. If you transform your thoughts, you transform your results. If you transform your beliefs, you transform your behavior. That's why the transformation mindset is the foundation of every breakthrough. It's not enough to want transformation. You must live it daily. Every day you wake up and choose. Choose discipline over distraction. Choose growth over comfort. Choose vision over fear. Choose resilience over quitting. Transformation is not built on a single decision. It's built on the daily grind of choices that align with the future you see. Once the transformation mindset takes root, you will never see life the same again. You will no longer settle for less than your potential. You will no longer tolerate toxic habits, toxic people, or toxic environments. You will no longer accept stagnation as your story. You will push, you will fight, you will stretch, you will rise. And when people look at you, they will notice something different. Not just in your success, but in your spirit. Not just in your achievements, but in your attitude. Not just in your victories, but in your vision. They will see someone who refused to stay the same. Someone who believed, endured, persisted, and transformed. That is the power of the transformation mindset. It takes broken pieces and builds a masterpiece. It takes old wounds and turns them into wisdom. It takes small beginnings and grows them into great destinies. It does not stop at change. It keeps pressing until change becomes transformation, until transformation becomes a lifestyle, till that lifestyle becomes a testimony. So today, make the decision. Don't just wish for transformation, commit to it. Don't just dream of better, believe for better, think better, live better. Don't just talk about growth. Embrace the mindset that produces growth. Because the life you want is on the other side of the thoughts you've been afraid to change. I will not be the same. I will not stay stuck. I will not live limited. I choose a transformation mindset. I choose to be renewed. I choose to rise. I choose to step boldly into the person I was always meant to be.